Welcome, friends of the Greasy Shop Rag. Today we're going to take a look at a Husqvarna 359 chainsaw. The customer complaint is that it's been sitting around for a while and now when he wants to use it, it's just not running right. Let's take a look inside the fuel tank here and see what he's got going on. Trying to fish the fuel line out of the tank. It's kind of fighting me a little bit. There we go. This has got an older filter on it. And why not? It's an older saw. It's probably the original filter. The bottom of that filter is pretty dark. That needs to be changed. Before we do that, we're going to pressure test that fuel line and make sure it's in good shape. See if it'll hold 10 pounds of pressure. If it does, then I know the fuel line's good, or at least doesn't have any holes or cracks in it. And I know the carburetor's tight. So we're going to put that new filter on here. Drop it back in a tank, and then we'll come back to the tank here. So for now, if I can find the cap, we'll just put the cap back on it. Before I go any farther into a repair, I like to look inside the cylinder and make sure that I'm not trying to fix something that's got a scored cylinder. So my initial impressions here are that there's a lot of grunge built up on it. I think the technical term for that would be schmutz. And you know, schmutz built up on the cylinder is just going to help retain heat, so that's not a good thing. You want to keep that cleaned up. It's also going to kind of restrict the ability of the cooling system and the air to move efficiently across the flywheel fins and across the cylinder fins. So we looked into the cylinder and everything was acceptable in there. Put a new spark plug in it. We're going to move forward. The air filter is kind of dirty. It's a nylon mesh style filter, so we're going to be able to clean this up. Right now I just want to get some more of that schmutz out of here. I got some schmutz on myself. Alright, these style filters, they're designed so you can open them up. And once you do, you can blow the dirt from the inside out. And you need to be careful when you do this. I mean, you could easily blow a hole through this nylon mesh. So every time I've finished cleaning one of these, I'll take a light and I'll inspect it and make sure that I didn't actually blow a hole through it and have to replace the filter. We did alright here. We got the dirt out without wrecking the filter. We'll snap the two halves back together and just set that off to the side for now. Okay. We're going to take a look here. This is a 2007 model. And that's going to help me decide, you know, do I think that I should open up the carb and go for a look? And I decided I'm going to, but first I'm going to pour out the fuel. And you can see that that fuel is really dark. I don't think it's dark because he's got so much oil in it. I think it's dark because the gas is getting old. And old gas would kind of back up his story that the thing's been sitting for a while. So I want to pull this carburetor off here, and the first thing I'm going to try and do is pull the fuel line. And that little screwdriver is not really cutting it. And if you're a regular follower of this channel, you know that I made a tool, this one here, to remove fuel lines. It's just the drive shaft from a string trimmer. And I ground it in such a way that it's easy to pop the fuel lines off. This was kind of the prototype before I put a handle on it. In fact, I have the tool right here. I made a few of them, one for home, one for work, and just pushed some handles on them, and they're pretty handy, you know. I encourage you to make one yourself. It's just the leftover drive shaft from a string trimmer. ground to a way I thought would work decent for removing fuel lines. So what I'm doing here is I was going to take the carb off, but I wanted to show you that on some of these 3 Series Huskies, you know, it's laid out in such a way that it's very inviting to just pull that cover off the top of the carb and inspect that metering diaphragm. And in this case, you can see it's kind of stiff. It holds its shape. And that could be a contributing factor as to why it wasn't running right. I would say that dark old fuel he had in there was another contributing factor. The point I'm making here by taking that cover off was just that you could do a quick inspection without pulling the whole carb off to determine what that diaphragm looked like. Now, removing this throttle rod, there's a little wire that holds the rod in place. You just have to move the wire out of its clip or catch, and once you do that, you can pull the linkage off of the arm on the carburetor. Then we remove the whole piece of linkage out from inside the trigger handle. Now I'm removing the 2 screws that hold the air filter base and the carburetor to the intake manifold. A little clumsy here. Trying to get that screw out. The threads of the screw kind of grab. And then we're going to pop the choke linkage off the bottom here. It's just a press fit. There we go. We've harvested a carburetor. So I'm just going to put a plug in the intake just to keep any dirt from going in there while I was cleaning up the other parts. So I got myself a carb kit, and we're going to take a look at this carburetor and put a few parts into it. So on this side we have the metering chamber. It has the metering lever, the spring, and the needle. And we're trying to gain access to the needle. I've just thrown the old needle on the bench, grabbing the new needle, hanging it on the metering lever, and laying the whole works over the top of the spring. Then we'll slide that cross shaft over a little bit and tighten the screw down. Sometimes those needles are shipped with some kind of protective material over the rubber tip of them. This one didn't have that. Otherwise I would have cleaned it off. Checking the metering lever height, making sure that it's level at the top of the sides of the carburetor. And then checking the gasket here, because there are 2 gaskets, and sometimes, depending on which kit you grab, sometimes the gaskets are the same and sometimes they're not. They're off by one little hole. So you got to make sure you got the right one. And that's just a matter of matching it up to the old one. Now we've got the gasket and the metering diaphragm. Then we've got a spacer. And then the other gasket. There we go. Got it oriented properly. Drop the cover on here. Screw it down. So you're not going to see me remove the high and the low speed needles out of this carburetor. It probably would have been a good idea to do that. I don't often find I have to do it. And you'll see when I test run this thing, I'm going to have to open up the high and the low speed jets about a quarter of a turn to get it to run. Now, is that because there's a little bit of buildup in those passageways that should have been cleaned? I'm not sure. But it would be good practice to remove those screws and clean the passages behind them. Some people would strip the whole thing down and drop it in an ultrasonic cleaner. I used to do that. I've kind of gotten away from it. So here we have replaced the micro screen. And now we're installing our new fuel pump gasket. And its gasket. And then the pump cover. And a single screw holds this in place. There we go. That's all I'm going to do to this carburetor. Alright, let's put it back on the chainsaw. First I have to kind of get oriented here, which way's up. You know, that cover side is up. Get the adjustment screws facing the proper side where they pass through the side of the saw. Line it up with the air filter holder. Snap our choke lever into place right away. If we don't do that now, it's kind of hard to reach it later after the carb's installed. There's a gasket that goes between the carb and the air filter base, and I'm trying to get that kind of lined up and sandwiched in there. Get the screws to pass through the gasket. It's not a hard thing to do, I'm just fumbling with it a little bit. There we go. Now that whole assembly can be lined up with the intake block. And then I'm going to run these screws in by hand. I know a lot of times you see me do things with power tools. These screws are going into plastic. And I just don't want to strip it out. I don't want to have to replace that boot and that plastic adapter on the intake boot. So I'm going to take my time here and crank these down by hand. That tool I'm using is a ball end 4mm driver. The ball end allows me to come in here on an angle like this. So that tool works pretty good. Here's our fuel line. We'll just push that into place. There we go. And we're dropping the air filter base down into its rubber saddles. And now the throttle rod. I'm going to put it into the handle end first. Lay it alongside the carb. Then I'm going to open up the carb manually a little bit. Drop the Z-bend of that rod into the arm of the carb. Then I just got to flip that little wire over and hook it into its little catch there. There, that looks good. Throttle linkage seems to work right. Alright, we're going to put some fresh fuel in here and give it a start, and you'll see that it's going to die, and I'll have to open up that high and that low speed about a quarter of a turn to get it to run right. That's all I'm going to have for you on the Husqvarna 359 chainsaw. Didn't want to run right because it had been sitting for a while. Thanks for watching. Later.